Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Lobo. The channel is called XEpic Visual Effects. Of course, for those of you who are new to the channel, if you actually enjoyed that first video intro, please like and subscribe, as it always helps me make more videos like this. For those of you who are actually visual effects artists, hopefully you'll learn something here and there to create something even more cool. But if you are a visual effects artist, you probably already know how to do all these things, alright? But that being said, today I want to share with you guys how I created this very cool sci-fi scene here. I've always wanted to create a cool sci-fi city and just have ships flying through, and with the introduction of Element 3D into After Effects, man, we can do that. Isn't that cool? We don't have to go into any expensive 3D modeling software to create this. We can do everything in Element 3D. Of course, it does not have the power of 3D modeling software, but it's getting close to it. So in version 2, hopefully we're getting close to that kind of power, okay? But that being said, there's a folder to download. Please download that folder. There are a whole bunch of assets that we can use to follow along with this tutorial. That being said, again, let's pause this and minimize. Now, I already have my composition ready here, but let's start a new composition anyways, because I need to show you something. So new composition here, just call that Sci-Fi City. For me it'll be 2 because I already have one, but for you it's just the first one. Okay, so that's cool. Oh, look at that, I totally spelled sci-fi like the Sci-Fi channel almost. I don't know, is it? I have no idea. Anyways, it's okay. Let's go down to, well, click back here, layer and solid, just call that Sci-Fi. See, I'm gonna psych myself now to not know how to spell what I'm doing. Just click that OK. Once again, 4K for me. If you guys can't do that, do 1080p, but keep it at 24 frames per second, which is film style. Alright, now I'm gonna go to this one here. For some of you, you might not have the building pack from Videocopilot. If you don't have that pack has a whole bunch of streets that you can use. Okay, I know that some of you don't have the money to purchase that, so what I did in Element 3D, I actually created a street for you guys, and that was a street that I created for a tutorial in, I think it was tutorial number 5 in my channel. Okay, is it super awesome? Absolutely not. It's just a street to have to use. Okay, and from there you guys can do whatever you want with it. Okay, I don't really care, it's for you. But that being said, if you don't have that, it's already in the folder. All you guys have to do is bring the OBJ in, lay the textures on top of that, and boom, you're done. Okay, but we're gonna go here and we're gonna bring in Element 3D. Let's click on Scene Setup. Let's go down here to Videocopilot. Here's the building pack. Let's click here, and what we need is any of these. Okay, you guys want to get super technical, go ahead. This is a tutorial. I'm going to use the easiest one. Okay, I'm going to click on that, and there it is right there. Here's our pack from Videocopilot. I'm going to click this because I want to see the highest resolution only. And from there, you want to go down to your Futuristic Building pack. There's a link beneath the description tab. Click on that. It'll take you to a site from Videocopilot where all these buildings are free. That's right. Whole bunch of cool people came together and said, you know what, we're gonna create some very cool buildings just for Element 3D, and they did. And here they are right here. Okay, once we are here, I'm going to quickly lay them down, guys. I'm not gonna get too crazy with it because I just want to show you guys how to do this. That's pretty much all that I want to do. A new folder, just call that trees. You know what? I gotta double click on that first. Okay, once we're here, let's just bring some trees in. Okay, so import from the YouTube folder trees. Where are my maple tree? There it is, just like that. Boom. Okay, click OK, and there it is. It's already perfectly sized. So let's click on this icon to zoom in here, and it just brings up. You guys want to get more technical with that, go ahead. Alright, we're just adding a few trees in there just to make it look cool. Texture, first one is, I believe, I'll go back to D here, find my folder, there we go. First one is this one here, boom, that's it. and the second one is the trunk, just like that. Okay, all right, there it is. This is all tree. But what you also want to do is you want to take down the glossiness because it's a little bit crazy, and take down the environment multiplier too. And you have to do the same thing for the leaves, or else it gets a little too crazy. Still want some gloss on that, but not too much. All right, once it's like this, guys, all right, you know what to do. Control D, just put them wherever you want. All right. So I'm just gonna create the walls right now. Create a new folder, call that wall, and click enter. Go here, click on this here. And you want to bring this up about right there. Click on this icon, shrink it down, and go about like this. Now about right there, and just bring it close to the city. Click on this icon so we can zoom in right in, just like that. So we're not, there you go. You want to go another one above, that's fine. Just go and do it like that. So once we're here, click on this. We're gonna put a texture on it, and the texture is already in this texture right here. Okay, and just click on that. And now you might be asking yourself, oh dude, it's stretched, it looks horrible. Absolutely right. So how we're gonna fix this? Just by going like this. Okay, we're gonna say about 5.26, and let's see, like that's about good. Let's zoom in to see how it looks. It still look kind of stretched. So how about we make that a little bit more circular? How does it look like? Much better. Okay, so that works too. Now the one thing's not going to work is because we don't have the normal bump here. Okay, but that's okay. All I'm trying to do right now is show you guys what you need to do to get this going. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. Just like that. And then on the reflectivity, let's do 2. Okay, so once we have that like that, let's just move it up and see, is it going to be what we want? Yeah, that's about right there. And all we have to do, guys, is just duplicate this and just throw over here. Once we are here, let's create a new camera. There it is. I keep mine at 50 millimeters, and then click on this icon and then zoom in really quick just to see what it looks like, and that looks pretty good, guys. Alright, that takes care of creating our very tiny sci-fi city here. Alright guys, next step, let's throw some quick lighting into this whole entire thing. So let's go down to render settings here. Let's first click on glow to see what we got going on here, and these glow of course. So let's make sure we make that 1 and maybe make that 1.5. That's still too much, so let's make that 1 and let's make that 0.5, and that looks a little bit better. Okay, there's 2 ways you can control the glow. You can go back into your scene setup and you can control the glow that way, or you can control it right here. But for now, we're just gonna do it this way because it's a tutorial. We don't need to get crazy. Okay, you guys just need to see the workflow so you guys can create your own stuff. Okay, from here, let's go down to ambient occlusion. Let's click on that, and let's just crank it up to 4, and there you go. And you'll see the difference once we zoom in. Okay, once we zoom in, then you can see things a little bit better. Let's put some lights in really quick. So 2 ways you guys can do this. Well, not 2 ways, but eventually you'll have to, you know, play with this too. But first, let's create some lights, and we're gonna create a parallel light. Let's just keep that on 100. Click OK. And what we want to do is we want to put our light on top. So let's do 2 views. Alright, and our light is right here right now. So I'm just gonna move it right to the top, and there it is. It already lit our top, and that's what we want. So let's zoom in here really quick. Whoops. Click back on light. And I just want to keep it like this. Now, and then you want to click on that again and go right view. You want to make sure your light is actually what it's supposed to be. So as you can see, my light is down. I want to bring it up just like that. Okay, and that looks pretty good like that. Now that it's up like that, what I also want to do is I want to go on shadows and click enable shadows, crank that up to 8K. Parallel light, also crank that up to 4K. And now it's giving us some shadows. As you can see down there, we're starting to have shadows, and that's exactly what we want. But we also want a light that is, acting as the sun. So let's create a new light and make that 300 and click OK. And see, now we're from the right side. So this back side is being lit right now, as you can see, and that could be good too. But if the sun is down here, it's either rising or it's setting. So we actually want it way up there. So there it is. So that's kind of what you want. You still want this light to create some shadows down here, and you want this light to kind of be your sun, because in 3D you need lights everywhere, because we're just trying to recreate what we see outside, which is very difficult, guys. You really need a keen eye to be able to create perfect light. Okay, so for those of you who are master lights, do forgive me, I'm still learning, but for those of you who are learning with me, now you know something new. Okay, that being said, I'm going to also rotate this really quick because I want to see how it's hitting everything, right? And as you can see, the back here is way too dark. So what do we do with this? It's easy. We need to create other lights. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new light. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a point light, and I'm just going to do 50 on that. Click OK, and I'm going to go back to top view and find my point light, which is right here, and I'm going to bring it to where I say it was just way too dark. Let's zoom back down so I know where I am. Oh, I'm supposed to be back here. There it is, just like that. Right spot. Whoops. There it is. That's where I want it to be, just like that. Okay. Alright, and it might be too much light, so let's take it that to 25%, and 25% looks pretty good. Alright, so now let's just keep flipping and see how things look. Okay, so it looks good because now there's light everywhere, but we still have real shadows and it's falling properly. Okay, and everything's following the light. To me, this looks good. Could I get more detail with this? Absolutely. You could spend a whole entire week creating light, but it's a tutorial. I just need you guys to show you guys, the 3-point light system. 1, 2, 3, and if you guys want to get more crazy, you can put more lights everywhere. Okay, it's really up to you how you want to do this. But for this tutorial, because we're not focused on lighting, we're just focusing on creating a scene, this is good for now. Okay, but you're the one who's gonna get crazy with this, not me. Okay, alright guys, that takes care of lighting our scene right here. Alright guys, the next step is creating a 360 box sky for our scene, plus bring some ships in for some movement. So let's go to our scene setup really quick. Let's go to our group folder, create a new folder, double click on that, call that ships, and leave that where it's at for now. Go here and click on this icon here. Take the diameter to about 15 and take the segments to about 50. Once you are here, I want you guys to bring in a texture. Okay, the texture we're going to be bringing in is from, well, I have it in my folder. However, I may not put it in your folder only because it belongs to Videocopilot. I bought it with the aircraft package that came with it, and it came with some HDR. And so you guys can find a whole bunch of HDRs online. Go online or go on Google and find some free ones. Apply it the same way I'm about to show you right now, and it should work just fine. Okay, if you want the HDRs from Videocopilot, go online, buy the aircraft package, and it comes with it. Okay, alright, so I'm gonna go to texture. Here's mine right here that Andrew Kramer awesomely did for us. So I'm going to take down the glossiness. I'm going to crank the environment to about 2500. And what I want to do now is I want to click back on here, and I want to click here, invert normals. And now that texture is on the inside, so when we are on the inside, there it is, we see it properly. Okay, but one thing you have to make sure to do too is make sure that the sun is following exactly where your lighting is. So let's go back to okay here. I need to zoom out really quick and see my sun is right here. And the one thing that is important, you have to make sure that your 360 box sky is not in front of your light, because if it is, then it's not gonna light your whole entire scene. Okay, it has to be on the outside. So now that I know my, let me see, my sun is right here. As you guys can see, it's lighting the opposite way. So what do I have to do? Very simple. I just have to go back in here and realize that that's where it is, and simply rotate it where it needs to be. So I believe it is about right there. So click OK, and it's going to be shifting, and there you go. It looks more real now because it's actually shining where it's supposed to be. Okay, because the lights are right here, and I even think the lights are even right there, so I need to fix that again. Now you guys can, there are two ways you guys can do it so that you don't have to continuously go in Element 3D. You can just put this in a different group and it's easier to fix. Okay, but I'm leaving everything in one group because I might need to use the other groups for other things. So taking that extra step to do that is completely fine. Okay, alright, this looks better just like this. Alright, that being said, that takes care of that. Let's go back in here and let's bring in some ships. So import from your OBJ texture, we're gonna bring the E45 craft, click on that, it's gonna show up there, and click on this icon here. Let's zoom out really quick to make sure it matches properly. And well, not most of the time, but sometimes the OBJs already are perfectly matched with your scene. If they are, great, but if not, just click normalize size, which then normalize the size, and then you can control the scale to fix it how you want to. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now I need to make it look like the way mine looked, so just go down here, go to diffuse colors, take it where you want it to take it. Mine was about right there, and I did. Alright, I'm also going to change the window here, so I'm going to go back to the physical, which comes with Element 3D. Click on the glass and go down to refraction, go black, and boom. Now also one thing that is cool about this 3D model is, look at that, some very cool stuff in here. So the 3D modeling artist did a great job with this. Alright, so I'm only going to take it to 95 because I don't have anybody in there. Maybe that'll be my next tutorial. Do some green screen with actors and see if we can throw them in 3D models. Okay, let's bring in another ship here really quick because we need to make sure we have at least 2 ships. I'm only going to bring 2 ships, guys, because the same concept goes to however many ships you want to add in here. Okay, and this one is pretty big, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down to about 3 and see what it looks like. And 3 looks pretty good, so I'm going to go back to my other one, click 0, and there it is right there. I think both are pretty good as are. Alright, once we have that, let's click OK. Now as you guys can see here, I already created my cameras, and I highly recommend you guys to create your cameras first, your shots, before you move anything, because if you move stuff and then you create your shots, it's a lot of extra work that you're gonna have to do. But if you already have your shots, then you know exactly where you put your 3D model and you move them according to where your shots are. Make sense? Hopefully it does. Always have a master shot right here so you can control everything you're doing. Just about right now, that's what we're gonna do. I want to make sure that my ships are moving up, so I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back to scene setup, and what I want to do, I want to make sure that the E45 craft is on group 2, so I can use a null to control it properly. I'm going to keep this on auxiliary channels because I just needed to go up, down, left, right. Okay, click OK. Once we are here, let's open this up really quick and let's move it up, and as you can see, it's moved up, and that's perfect. And the reason why I have my master shot here and I have 2 cameras here is to see what I am doing. Okay, and this is how you control things in After Effects using Element 3D. Alright, so once we are here, I do want this ship to be right there, so I'm going to control it going this way, and I want to make sure it's not out, but it's still in, but it's still below there. And let's make it go a little bit higher, about right there is good too. So now I'm gonna go here, that's the Z, and I want it to be way back here. Okay, so for about 1 second, let's set a keyframe on the Z, and at about 4 seconds, let's make it move. There you go, it's gonna go, and go outside of the scene just like that. Alright, so once we have that, let's go ahead and unclick my master camera. Let's go to one view and see what we got. All right, here we go. So the ship, we can see the ship is still there. We don't like that. We want to make the ship out even more. So take it even more out. So there it is. So I'm right there. I no longer see it. So that's my regular scene here, my startup scene. At 1 second, we see the ship come from behind us, and there it is coming through here, and boom, it leaves and it goes. All right, with a real sky in the background too. It looks really cool, guys, just like that. Okay, all right, hopefully that makes sense here. And this here takes care of throwing cameras in specific locations and making any 3D OBJ moves as we see fit. Alright guys, it's time for us to move a little ship down there. As you can see, we got all our cameras going on here. It's a little bit crazy, but don't worry about that. I actually like seeing all these things because it tells me I know what I'm doing. But sometimes you might go, oh my gosh, I have no idea, this is crazy. But it's okay guys, it's up to you. Okay, so let's create a node for this. Now there are two ways to do that. You guys can go here, go new node, and then just connect, you know, the XYZ and the positions and everything. Or because it's already in group 2, which is the reason why I did it this way, you guys just can create, go down to group utilities, create group node, and click create. Boom, it creates one for you. And let's rename that really quick. We're gonna name that ship controller. There it is. And when it's here like this, just bring it down to right there. And as you guys can see, we can control the ship now. So how do we know for sure? Well, let's zoom in really quick with that master camera, and let's just see for ourselves. Look at that. Oops, go back to node here, and there it is. We are in full control of this ship here. And the reason why you want to use a node is because you have so much more power in controlling the ship properly, so you can make some smooth turns, so on and so forth. Okay, that being said, let's go ahead and do 2 views so we see what we're doing, and let's just decide where we want to go. Okay, so right now we know for a fact that it's right here. So let's say we're gonna because our first camera was angled that way, so what we're gonna do then is have our ship go all the way here, and it's just gonna turn right here, and as it turns right here, it's just gonna fly off. Okay, that's it. That's all we wanted to do, plain and simple. So before we can do that, like I said, let's set up our cameras. So new camera, that would be camera 5, and it will be way up there. And I'm gonna shut off my master camera, and once again I want to move it. You said it would be right here, right? Okay. This is how you control cameras, and this is how you control how to move things around using After Effects and Element 3D. You have 2 views. You have one from a master point and one from this point of view here. Super easy, guys. Okay, from once we are here, let's simply control all node. And the easiest way that I found to control node without going crazy is to actually use this point here, because if you go like this, sometimes see it gets too crazy and there's really no control. But if you go here, you have so much better control. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start controlling this. So I'm gonna click here, and I want it to move forward. Okay, So all I have to do now is go to the Z and move it forward, just like that. And now I know how far it's going to, so it's going to stop right there. So when that's, oh, you know what? I made a mistake. I want this to be at about 6 seconds. And then let's go ahead and do that again. I'm sorry about that, guys. I got too excited and carried away. Then from here, we know for a fact our camera has to follow too. Okay. So let's move this here. Let's have camera 5. We're going to set some keyframes for it. You want to set the keyframe for the point of interest and the position. And it's going to be the same thing. Okay. Now, the camera is going to do something crazy, but I don't want you guys to freak out because it's fixable. So once we're here, we're going to go like this, okay? And then we're going to move this back like that. And then we're going to move it up. There you go. You see what I'm saying now? So don't freak out. Okay, so that's camera 1. That's camera, well, 1 for the scene, which is camera 5 here. Alright, cool. Well, let's create a new camera. Control D, camera 6. We didn't go up here because time constraint. Now, we have to make sure that we don't confuse anything here. So since we're already here, delete these and simply move that camera this way so we can have a shot from this way now. Okay, just like that. Okay, so that's camera 6 right there. So as we do that, we have to remember that at 4 seconds, that's where things were. And now this camera here, 6, will be right there. Okay, so let's see how everything looks. Boom, boom, boom. Ship comes in, passes through. We have that. Very cool. Boom. Then our scene switches right away to this right here. The camera gets close and boom, it switches. Does that make sense? Okay, so from right here, we're simply going to have a ship do a quick turn. Let's make that about 10 seconds, 2 seconds. So it's gonna fly out, it's gonna go straight. Don't worry about it. We're just controlling what we're doing here. And as it's doing that, let's move it back a tiny bit. It's gonna fly up in the air about right there, I would say. Okay, and then okay, so now let's go back to our master camera so we can see where our ship is. I hope that I'm not going too fast for you guys and you actually have an understanding of what it is that I'm doing right here. So let's make sure that I can find my ship. Ah, there it is. Okay, so it's right there. And I want it to go up. Boom, like this. At the same time. Boom, there it is, it's out. Okay, so let's quickly see what it looks like. So I'm going to shut off my master camera, and there it is right here, and boom, it goes up. Okay, so about right there, what we want to do too is let's go like this, set a keyframe here, right there, and let's make it go up like that. So boom. guys, so this right here teaches you guys and shares with you guys how to create some very cool scene here, camera angles, also how to make our ship pass through the whole entire city as you want and up into the distance. Okay, very cool, very easy, but could be time consuming. Okay guys, so what we have to do now is we have to create that last scene when we are here and all of a sudden we look up and we see a big ship in the sky. Okay, so what I did here, I brought a new camera, which is camera 7, and I just put it right there in this scene here. You have to make sure that your point of interest, which is this point here, is where the H is, because as long as it's where the H is, no matter where you move your camera, it's locked to that point. Okay, and that's very important that you guys understand that. Okay, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna be looking at the H, and all of a sudden we're gonna be looking up and we see a ship flying in the background. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here, and what you can do here, and once we are here too, we can pivot this way and just choose the best spot for it. Okay, so make sure that your camera is set the same way, and I don't have to show you guys because you guys have already seen me do it. Alright, let's go on to a scene setup, and let's bring in a ship. We are going to be bringing in the military ship here, so let's click that. Let's click normalize size so it's pretty big, and what I want to do is I want to bring it all the way up because we're going to be doing some texturing. So you guys can texture it however you want, but I just want to make this very simple but also keep it cool. So I'm going to bring in one of the texture that I already had, and I brought it into my textures. Alright, and it is this one here. So once I have that, I'll leave it like that, and then I'll bring in the same one here. But what I want to do now, I want to crank this to 15, and I want to crank this to 15 as well. And as you can see, I've made everything much smaller and it looks cooler as well. And on the top, I will probably do the same thing, but let's see what 10 looks like, and 10 on that side. It looks very strange, so let's make that 5 instead. 5 looks much better for that top part right there. Okay. That being said, I'm also going to lower the glossiness on both and take the environmental multiplier down to about maybe 50 on either end, just like that, and crank up the intensity here of the reflectivity at 1. There you go. Alright, so once we have that, let's just put it back down to where it was, because I'm simply going to be using my auxiliary channel to control the ship. Okay, because I don't want it to do anything crazy. I just want it to do exactly what I want it to do. Okay, which is just pass through. So that's going to be auxiliary channel 2. Once I'm here, I'm just going to click OK. Now if you want, you can put a ship on the H like we did. In fact, why not? Let's just go and do that so everybody's happy. Let's put flying car 2. Okay, and I'm gonna take that down to 3. Alright, there we go. So what I want to do now, I want to go here, I want to do a right view, because I want the ship to be higher up there. So let's go back here to channel 2 this time, position and rotation. So go up. There it is. You know, it ends here. That's where this new camera will start. So it's cool because we still see in the background too, and that's totally okay. So if it's going to be moving the background like that, we definitely need to keep it moving. So it is right there, and it's moving. Very cool. You see that second ship, tiny one. Then we have this chase right here. Just another day in a sci-fi city. And then it switches over. And there's our ship right here still moving through. Okay, that'll be 12 seconds right there. So let's see this again. So our ship in the back, big ship is in the background, and then we see our tiny one passing through. There it goes, passes through, passes through. And we have this little tiny ship here. Very cool, just a tiny. Then it switches to this, goes up. We have a closer shot of that scene right there, just like that. Okay, so that's 12 seconds right here. Okay, all right guys, so that takes care of everything that you guys saw in my video intro. Of course it's not the same, but the workflow is exactly the same, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, from there it's up to you guys to create what you want to see. Okay, very cool, right? Alright guys, this concludes the tutorial. Hopefully you guys learned something from this tutorial. Hopefully it wasn't too long, hopefully it wasn't too boring. If you guys like, you guys know what to do. Click the like button. If you guys love, you guys know what to do. Like and subscribe to the channel. It always helps me make more video tutorials like this if we all like and subscribe to the channel. But that being said, guys, I just hope you guys learned something from this and can create your own cities, have your own ships fly through your cities, and do whatever you want with it. Okay, once again, my name is Lobo. The channel is called xEpic Visual Effects. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye now.